Hey Talvians, welcome to another video. So I'm finally feeling better, so I wanted to go ahead and get the video out of the way for last week that I totally forgot to do. I'm so sorry. Um, Allergies are trying to kill me. So you guys did want to do a video where I go through a couple of things that are hard to pronounce in the book. I'll try and keep it as spoiler-free as I can, and kind of go through, like, little tidbits about the characters, but not too much information. I don't want to, I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't read the book. So let's just jump right in. I'm excited about this. I have a whole bunch of cards. Okay, so I'm going to start with the kind of obscure characters first, the ones that don't really appear in a lot of things, maybe just mentioned in passing, stuff like that. So, Duke Pressin. So I know it's kind of weird because it's a C and not an S, but it's Pressin. Catherine refers to his son Geoffrey as Sir Prance-a-lot, so it was kind of a similar pronunciation to Prance. So Pressin. Okay, so this one is just one of the random councilmen. They do have a scene where they talk to the councilmen for a moment. His name is Jatis. 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 And so he's just kind of mentioned in passing again, like one of those people that I just mentioned in passing. I have a couple of soldiers. So the first soldier that's mentioned is Tessa. At the very beginning of the book, something happens and there's an attack. He is actually the only survivor. So again, he's just kind of mentioned in passing. Catherine talks to him, our main character, but he's only in a scene or two, and then I don't think you ever see him again, I think, on this one. Okay. And then some of the soldiers that are around a little bit longer. This is Mendon. I really liked his name. I honestly don't remember how I came up with it, but I was like, whoa, okay, whatever. So Mendon is his name. He's really cool. Again, I don't really remember a lot about like what they look like for the most part, because again, they're just kind of a couple of scenes. And his companion is Carbus. You could say Carbos or Carbos, however you want to say it. Either way works. Either way works. Okay. And so we're going to go into a couple of the gods that I have that, again, just mentioned in passing. The god of the underworld is called Tisza. He's very cool looking. I have debated about doing a couple of books solely on the gods of my world. I do have multiple. And so I've kind of debated about that. Okay. So the god of actual earth, like the actual world itself, or Tallien as it's called. So she is called Catax, I think, Catax or Catax, I don't know, something like that. Okay, the god of lust is totally my favorite. Don't read into that. Just because I love her name. So her name is Tisza. Tisza Mashai. I can't remember how I pronounced it. Tisza Mashai. Tisza Mashai, I think is how I said it. So she's pretty fun. She's actually the creator of two sets of creatures. So the Tisza is one of them, the first part of her name. And these are small little imp-like creatures. Those who have read the book completely know who they are. They're cute and little, and they kind of talk funny. But they're also a lot of them, so they can pose a threat. In the book, they do pose a threat. So it's a situation for sure. Absolutely. But they're very small. They're only a couple of feet high, but they're a threat. Okay. The leader of the Tisza is called Tessa. As I said, they don't really speak like regular English or regular as far as Tallien is concerned. so it's kind of broken up into, you can kind of understand what they're saying. So his name is Tessa, and that's what he tells her, that it's Tessa. Again, they do pose a threat. I think the soldiers at first laugh at them because they're like so tiny and like adorable, but they're a problem. And this is why. So the goddess, again, the other side of her name, Mach, is for another set of creatures that are the complete opposite of the Tisza. So where the small ones are like super vicious, there's also large ones that are vicious. So they may be different in size, but they're definitely with the same mindset. At least with the Tisza, you can kind of reason with them. With the Mach, you cannot reason with them. They are pretty much just brutal force. I can't really give a lot away about them because, again, it's kind of connected to a scene specifically. But I can tell you that once you hear the name, it's about to go down. Like, they are not something to be messed with. Absolutely not. Oh, speaking of things that are not to be messed with, cat's eye. Those who have read the book know full well what these creatures are. So they are, I consider them kind of like my orcs in my world, but way more deadly. Absolutely way more deadly. They are about regular human height, so anywhere between 5 foot to about 6 foot. So they kind of range in size. They are very, very animalistic almost. Like they may look kind of human, but they're very cat-like almost. So they're very much animal instinct based. They basically just see a thing, attack a thing, kind of thing. But they're very, very dangerous. In my world, it's actually kind of a shock if you hear the name because it means that big trouble's heading your way. So very big enemy, very big enemy. Okay, so now we're getting kind of into the people. So this is Michelle, and that's how I said her name the whole time I was writing it. Michelle, she is the rival queen for Boltis. And she is basically, there's a lot of backstory I have on her that's not mentioned in the book. And it's basically what happened to her before she met one of the main villains. And she does not have a very good backstory. I mean, obviously I think it's a cool backstory, but it's not friendly. Let's put it that way. She had to deal with a lot. She did what she had to. And she thought she found a new partner, but that partner turned out to be a little bit worse. But she did get something good out of this, and I will go into that in a minute. So, rival queen, Michelle. Oh, speaking of the problem. Okay, so the problem she ran into was Stanton Macton. A lot of people have heard me talk about Stanton before. I love him as a villain. On a personal level, no. I would never want to meet him in real life. He is everything I hate about this world rolled into one person. He is horrid. He is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. He says that he's human, but I don't think he really is. I feel like he is a whole nother level of gross, and I absolutely hate him. But again, he's a really fun villain to write, and I feel like that's why actors like to play villains, because they're fun to play. They're fun to write, even though it's horrible. And I feel like it's not giving a spoiler away to say that he is actually the reason that Michelle killed her husband, and he actually became the king of the rival kingdom Boltis. So, it's a situation. It really is. It's totally a situation. Okay, before we get to our main characters, I'm going to go through some places real quick. I do wish I had my map here so I could show you guys on the map where these places are. Hopefully that will be in the next one. So, okay, so this one is Sakunier. Sakunier. Sakunier, I think is how I pronounced it. This one is mentioned in passing. It is one of the seaside places, like close to the coast. I think I'm going to make it a portal town or a port town. Portal town. So it's kind of mentioned in passing. I do want to show you guys a map. So everything happens kind of in the middle towards the east side. This is more on the west side. But it's a really beautiful place. I can't wait to show you guys this place. Again, I wish I had my map so I could just show you guys. Okay, so this place is Alcal, or Alca, I don't know. But this place is actually in between the two main kingdoms that we focus on in this book. And so Alcal. It is mentioned in passing. I don't think they go there in this book. It's a thing. Okay, so the rival kingdom is Bultish is how I said it, Bultish. So this is where Stanton and Michelle reside. This is the kingdom that is always battling with Meltesh. They're trying to take over everything because Stanton believes he should be, you know, he just wants everything as Stanton. He's just so selfish all the time. Meltesh. So this is the main kingdom. This is where I got the bookmark from over there, and it's where this poster is from. My backpack's kind of in the way right now, but the poster, it has it on as well. So that's the main kingdom. It's where Catherine resides. It's where our story first takes place. So this is the main kingdom for the first book. So it's awesome. You guys will love it. Okay, the very first line of the book mentions Bloodhain. Again, exactly as it's spelled. So Bloodhain is a city that was destroyed many years ago. It's also the place of a massive battle that takes place right at the beginning of the book. And I have a lot of history that's not in the books about this place, and hopefully I get to put it in a book somewhere because it's amazing. It was called Bloodhain way before the battle even took place. A lot of bad things happened there, so I hope to go into detail about this at some point. But there it is, Bloodhain. Okay. And you guys know that I call you my Talveons. And I have explained before, that's why my world is called Tallien. So you guys are my Talveons, my citizens of my world. So Talveons you are. Again, don't ask me how I came up with that. I honestly have no idea. Okay, so Cavians are mentioned briefly in the first book. They do play a bigger part later on. I'm not going to tell you why. You have to read the books. But Cavians are basically my version of a dwarf. They have over several centuries, you know, mixed with humans quite a lot. So they're no longer called dwarves. They're called Cavians. And they have similar features, just as you would imagine, you know, different colors, different heights. So they do look similar to what dwarves used to look like. So they're not as short as they used to be. I mean, there still are some short ones, but there's also tall ones. And as I mentioned, different colors of skin, different heights. And their features are a lot more, not necessarily as bearded as they once were, but that's them. They still love to drink ale. They still love to mine. They still love to fight. They still have an ancient feud with the elves in my world. So, you know, it happens. Okay, speaking of the elves on my world. So the elves on my world are called Leludians. And they, same as the Carvians, they have had to mix with humans over the course of many, many generations. So I call them, and people are going to laugh at me, I call them my super laid back humans almost, that are super beautiful but super badass. If that makes sense. So they are basically, they're same as elves have always been, but their features are a lot more relaxed. They have a little bit, they're not as uptight as they once were, and they still are amazing. They're graceful, they kick butt, they are amazing. I love them. They come into play quite a lot. Okay, so this word is called Dracio. Dracio, and that's how he says it in the book. It's the first word that is mentioned from the ancient language. I don't go into too much detail about the ancient language in the book. It's only mentioned in passing, but I wanted to include it because I love it and I just think it's awesome. So, Dracio. Okay. One of my ultimate favorite people that I got to write about in the book is alador. Alador. Okay, so I cannot tell you much detail about him because he is actually a super, almost a spoiler, I think. So pretty much anything I tell you about him would be a spoiler. I can tell you that once he appears in the book, you know it's about to get real. There's a lot of information that he gives, and just, I can't really say anything else. He is magnificent. I can't wait for you guys to read the book. If you haven't read the book and you don't know who he is, I promise you will not regret it. Even if you hate all the other rest of the book, him you will love. I promise. So I highly recommend it to read the book. Itch my nose just for him because he was really fun to write. I was very excited about him. He's amazing. Okay, another one of my favorite people is Queen Meltesh, Queen of Meltesh, I should say. The King of Meltesh, Henry, he actually does not know how to pronounce her name, so he just calls her Anna. I can tell you the proper pronunciation of her name, and I love saying it. It's Ariana de Manchina. Let me repeat that. Ariana de Manchina. De Manchina. Okay, so you just say it all together one word. Ariana de Manchina. So that's why he calls her Anna for short, because he doesn't want to have to say all that. Speaking of, there he is. So King of Meltesh is Henry Caltrek. He is Catherine's father. Ariana is his mother. And there he is. Henry Caltrek. There's not much I can really say about him. He's amazing. He's awesome. Love him to death. Another one of my favorite characters is Kalsar. Those who have read the book will know why he's one of my favorites at this point. Just wait. There's more to come. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys haven't read the book and you don't know who he is, definitely read the book. He basically is Henry's personal guard. He is kind of like an uncle to Catherine, the main character. The only difference is obviously with Henry being his charge, Henry always comes first. But he's a really great character to write, and once you read the book, you'll know why. There's a lot to come. I'm just gonna say that. There's just gonna be a lot to come. Linnell. So Linnell is one of my favorite people as well. So these are obviously all my favorite people because these are the main cast. So main characters. So for Linnell, he is the son of Stanton and Michelle. And I'm just going to say for him, things are not always as they seem. And leave it at that. I do like him as a character. There's going to be a lot that goes on. I'm just saying. There's a lot. Okay. And we come to Carrie. So Carrie Burnett. She is Catherine's personal companion / basically sister. They're basically best friends. She's the only servant that Catherine's ever looked twice at and values her opinion. So Carrie Barnett. She's one of the main characters. She's really awesome. I love her. She kind of shows Catherine what it means to actually love people in her life and not treat them and take them for granted, treat them bad and take them for granted. So she teaches Catherine a lot. And then there's Lance Mabel. He is the love interest. He's one of my favorite people. So yeah, Lance Mabel. There's not much really to say about him except he is a good influence on everyone around him. He shows his strength, his weaknesses. He shows people that it's not what happens to you, it's how you continue with life. And so there's just so much about Lance that I absolutely adore. And he's a great, great character. Lance Mabel. We love him. And last but certainly not least, by any means, like she would let herself be the last, Princess Catherine Keltrek. Bless her little heart for having me torture her for so long. She is honestly the best character I've ever written. I adore her so much. I actually got her name Catherine from the Beauty and the Beast TV show back when Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton were doing it, and her name was Catherine. I was a little obsessed. This is why she's called Catherine. I'll let you in on that secret. So Catherine Keltrek, she is the princess of the Kingdom of Meltesh, and she goes through a lot. She starts off as a completely arrogant and I want to do what I want to do. Why can't I just do what I want to do? And she has to deal with a lot of things. And I'm so glad that she came on this journey with me because it's amazing. And I'm so proud of her. So yeah, Catherine Keltrek, there she is. So from everything I gathered, those were honestly the only ones I could think of for the first book. There definitely will probably be more in the second book because I know I do add a couple more characters in the second book. But for now, I think that's it. I rambled on for like 20 minutes. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of how I'm pronouncing things. If you guys want me to do another video like this where there's other words you guys are not sure of or what I was thinking, I'm happy to go through them. If you guys want me to start reading chapters, I can. I know a lot of people are really bored right now and they don't know what to do, so I'm totally open for playing more video games or reading books or whatever you guys want me to do. So, but I'll leave it at that. So I love you guys. Always keep fighting. You are enough. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.